There we go. Now I get out of studio mode. Welcome everybody to Legendary Tales. Oh wow, that camera's really messed up. Okay, where are we at? Someone, will you do a recap, please, real quick? While I fix
Yeah,
this
sure.
stupid camera.
All right. Yeah, so where we picked up, Lorishik had Rep Raps grenades, but I didn't know that yet. I decided to write that down. I'm not sure why. Lorishik and Vidar awakened while we were in the Whispering Willows to see, the Walking Willows. Walking Willows? Whispering,
Yep.
yeah, Walking Willows. They awoke to see a meteor shower that just was started falling from the sky, and we took Mira, the giant spider, back to the warband so that she could link up with the rest of Absalon. And she smuggled a bunch of children back with her, which made the portal take a lot longer than usual. Uh, right. When we did that, Rep went back to the foundry immediately and implemented project management for them, and then started working on some armor and some other things that we might find out about later. And Lorchik got to meet Cyclop, who then promptly turned Lorchik's arm to jelly by removing the bones from that arm. Then everybody met back up at the forge so that we could make our way back over to. I'm sorry, what's the name of this continent again?
Siltime.
Back over to Siltime to go find another Soulforged. At the forge, Rep represented Lorishik with some full plate mail. And let's see. Then we all yeeted our way over to Karska. And that city is pretty gruesome. It's pretty metal. A lot of cannibalism going on there. They definitely believe in using every part of the buffalo because the gate itself was made out of the rib cage or into the rib cage of some giant skeleton that had fallen there a long time before, some sort of colossal creature. We met up with the Wind Whisperer, who is a leather worker and also seemed some sort of shaman or guru in the city of Karska, and then met his daughter,
Draug.
uh, Draug, who is in fact the Soulforge that we were looking for. Initially, we thought that might have been Vol's Soulforge because she was already awakened and aware, and also creepy AF. But yeah, then we got transported to an astral plane and met Cursing Mother, who explained to us that Drag was completely trustworthy. And then we got sent back to Karska, I believe, right at the end of that.
You did. And
We've got a little bit of a weight left on our Yeet Stone, I believe.
You have a little bit less than a day left. Yeah, you guys make your way. You're back in Karska in the Wind Whisperer's house, where most of his leather working is with human skin, or at least humanoid skin. He has his mom taxidermied, or his mom's skin taxidermied in the back. And you're like, that's really pretty, because there's like really a bunch of elegant tattoos on it. He feeds all of you normal food, because he knows that none of you, well, actually, all of you could actually eat humans if you wanted to. We figured that out last time, is that both Sabis and Lorishik could eat humans if they wanted to.
I'm not a lizard folk. I am not a lizard folk.
You're not a human, though. You are a separate
No.
species. So therefore,
Did they want to?
Lorishik ate some accidentally. He ate some of some bran flakes, which is leather made from Cyclop apostrophe S cousin named Bran.
Accidentally from whose perspective?
From his own.
Lorishik's.
From his own? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, hey, here's some jerky. Will you try this? So he ate some. And he's like, oh yeah, that was my cousin. Because their whole philosophy in Karska is to use every single piece of everything. So if you die as a person, they turn your skin into leather, and then they cook your meat for people that can eat it. And then they also basically use they turn your bones into jewelry and armor. They basically, every part of you gets used. So the body, very, very rarely do people get cremated or removed. They just don't eat the brain. They burn that. So, because they know about prion disease and how it's bad. So, we're going to fast forward a little bit to your day, unless anyone has any specific objectives for the day in which you are chilling in Karska. No? No one's doing anything specific?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Whoa. No one's trying to like buy grenades or build a build a teleportation device or
So
There's no
I have
Jenkins in the
projects.
group?
So I have projects back at the Forge, but the Forge is
Ooh.
not in Karska. Also, I got I got half of my grenades back. And
you lost them. You
Well,
lost half of them.
I lost half of them. That's actually a better way of putting that. Yeah.
You've only received one grenade, sir.
I have not. Because you gave me back the one that you were holding on to, and Vidar gave me the one that he was holding on to, so I got half of them back. Vidar, didn't you?
I didn't give anything back yet.
Oh.
I was told to give you one back, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. Nope, I misunderstood. Never mind. Yeah. So there are 3 loose grenades right now.
Is anyone going to talk to Draug or no? Or about anything specific? Any questions or anything you want to know about her? Because you have basically a full day of her just being around. And they found out that Draug is an osteomancer. So she literally can bend and change bones at will. So instead of being like a metal bender or something, she's actually does it with bones, including her own. So she can literally change whatever she wants with bones. She can literally make armor and stuff, like literally take the whole thing and extend it or make it bigger, whatever. That's sort of her specialty, is a sort of form of necromancy that specifically goes with bones, but she doesn't resurrect people that you know of. So unless anyone has any questions, we're going to fast forward to you guys eating back to the war bands. Do you guys do eat back to the war bands first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were told to
Yeah.
take Draug to the Forge.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys get pulled through this portal, and it doesn't take you very long because it's only the 4 of you, or the 5 of you, because Draug comes with you, and she immediately starts taking everything into account, looking around, and you get to you're right in front of the massive Blackstone Citadel, at the very top, and Kuzma is sitting out front of this massive teal fire that he has started. You can assume that there's some sort of temper at the heart of this fire because he's actually melting. He's actually starting to smelt some temper. He has like a little thing that he's trying to change into another form of temper. And you know that it takes an insane, like a weird fire in order to do that, and he has created that fire. And it does appear to be some sort of metal worker with temper. And you guys arrive, and it is actively snowing. Not blizzarding, but it's just lightly fluttering down. And directly in front of the next to that fire, looking into it, is a very pale dragonborn. Let's get back to the warband territory. Activate. And I will introduce, and he can introduce himself. You're not at Kozik Rik. You guys are at Garansk. If you go all the way to the right-hand side, I have all the leadership of each of the war bands there for anyone that's curious. Draug is now here with you, so I need to put her out there. And this man's is here as well. Let me go ahead and view character artwork, and then I'll show you guys. There you go. That's the character
so pretty.
Artwork. And yeah. Where is your tattoo? Where's your clan tattoo, by the way, Ilya?
I got a clan tattoo.
Is it visible? Is it visible?
No, I'm butt naked. That's, of course it's visible. Yeah.
Okay, where is it?
Upper front right thigh.
Okay. So you're obviously wearing like some sort of skirt or tunic that only goes so far.
I think you misunderstood butt naked.
So wait, Ilya, you're completely naked?
No. What's normal?
Say again?
What would I be wearing?
Well, what armor do you have on right now? You have studded leather, right?
Studded leather, I believe.
Yeah. So
studded leather loincloth with the turtle. Yeah.
Chastity belt.
So yeah, you're just chilling there. On his thigh, you can see a little visible burning eye tattoo. I haven't really thought about exactly what it looks like, but it definitely looks different from all the ones. And Lorish, all four of you know this to be the clan that the Beast Butcher is in. Soulforged is the war band that this Dragonborn is a part of. And Kuzma just stares at you for a moment as you guys come through the portal, and he says, this one has been requested by Beast Butcher to come with you. He is expert tracker. So he come with you for your next Soulforged find.
Greetings.
Sounded like a roll.
Hello, expert tracker. That is a bizarre name. Very functional.
My name is Ilya. I will help you find Soulforged.
Have you ever found a Soulforged before?
My
I
internet
have
is...
tracked many, but never found one. Too many dangers for one of me alone.
Have you ever met a Soulforged?
None of the good ones. Along my travels, I have found the void Soulforged, but none that I am searching for.
Did you get rid of the Void Soulforged when you met them?
Of course, they never saw me.
How did you know they were Void Soulforged?
He would have... We talked
They-
about this.
Yeah, they have a certain scent.
So you can smell auras.
One way to put it.
What do I smell like?
What does he smell like? What's his general his aura?
I would say his aura would be a combination of the smell of gold and beef jerky.
Gold and beef jerky.
I was gonna say a gecko cage that hasn't been cleaned in 6 months, but that works too.
What? So why is it gold? Because he's carrying lots of coins,
No,
kind of thing?
gold
Or it's like
is
the color
for
gold?
another, gold is for another reason.
Okay. You smell of gold and beef jerky.
I do like jerky. I pull out some of the bran flakes I have and offer one to Ilya.
Thank you for delicious treats. I will eat this now.
And you already know what it is. You can smell what
I
it is.
do?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can absolutely smell what it is.
I eat it.
You eat human often?
Only when I'm hungry.
Would you like the rest? I don't really eat. I offer the little leather pouch of bran flakes to Ilya.
Sure, I will take. Not my favorite, but my Drake will like this.
Don't tell Cyclops that they're not your favorite.
Okay. Do I not have to take a Constitution saving throw for eating human meat or anything? No, I'm good.
You're a Dragonborn.
Nice.
You can eat it. That's one of those things that literally everyone in this group can
can.
eat human meat without an issue, because you're not compatible with humans, so genetically
I
and everything
see.
else. So
Wait, hang on. Canonically, don't roll for like we've just been faking eating the entire time.
no, you
that
can
we've
you
eaten.
can eat. It's just not
We
necessary
can't eat.
for
We
your
just
survival.
okay.
Yeah, you
Got
don't
it, got
need
it,
to
got it.
eat for your survival. That's the difference. Is
Now I'm just trying to figure out where it goes. That's all.
It just goes through you. It exists. You chew it, it comes out chewed. That's like just it, unless you're leaving it in for too long or something.
I always kind of imagined it was more like the Cookie Monster thing, where it just immediately falls out the front. So
I'm on the floor.
no, yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty funny too. Let's be real. You're just a really
Yeah,
messy eater because you never actually consume any of it.
Where is your exhaust pipe?
In his belly button. But that being said, you're all introduced to him. And yeah, Ilya has the supernatural ability to smell Soulforged.
And your name? What is your
I'm
name?
Luershik.
Luershik. Other's name.
My designation is Technician R3P-R4P, but most people call me Rep.
Technician R3P-RB. Very nice.
Vidar's, I think, still in the costume when we come back because we were just in Karska.
Yep.
And basically, the holographic-looking face thing comes off and shows the Warforged face. Says, "Hello, I am Vidar."
Hello, Vidar.
And one thing you'll notice, Ilya, about Vidar, and I didn't explain this to you, is that Vidar is made of literally fully made of temper. His whole body.
Okay.
So
and temper is the
rarest substance in the world.
The undead from the moon stuff.
Yes, it's the stuff that's required to enchant magic items.
Magic items, yeah. Okay.
So,
was there another one? There was. Are there two, or am I missing up?
Just the one. It's just the one.
The soul stitching
is the bad one. Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at that thing.
Yeah, Savas gives a little wave. I'm Savas. I'm.
Hello.
I guess the third lizard now.
What kind of lizard are you?
She's more of a
technically a custom
snake.
race snake.
She's like a snake variant of a sort of like a lizard folk, but not really. Has a little bit different stuff. You'd be closer to a Neheb-Ka than you would a lizard folk. The closer to the Haka
Let's
people.
just say there was some weird crossbreeding for like 3 generations.
Yeah. So there's like all the lizard people are sort of all offshoots of like the same base race, but they're all wildly different from each other. Like the above ground ones are much more large and ridiculous because there's more food. But yeah.
So there's Warforged. Rep is
Warforged.
Rep is also Warforged, but very different make style. It's sort of I mean, you wouldn't know this. Some people have seen the internals. Internals are highly tempered. External is mostly steel and wood.
Okay. And Loeshik? So 2 Warforged, snake, and...
I am just a lizard folk.
And a lizard. Many reptiles.
Many.
Welcome to Reprap's Lizard Farm.
Yeah, so what you guys have actually, as you're sitting here next to the fire is actually incredibly hot, even if you're like really relatively far away from it. Casimir comes from behind you guys. Casimir is a half orc. He's a half orc, half giant. So he walks in. He just wears like a leather harness that holds his axe. He walks up to you. He says, "Greetings, Ilya. I am Casimir Bloodbath. I'm sure you've heard of me."
Hello, Casimir. How are you?
It is a pleasure meeting you finally. So, how was the look? Holy shit, what is that? And he looks right at Draug, and he's just like, he's literally pointing like this at her.
This is Draug. She is a Soulforged.
She just nods, and she looks at Ilya, and she goes,
which means? What does she smell like?
She smells...
A Soulforged!
No, she smells like bone dust. Like, there's a specific, like... bone dust, you know when you're getting your teeth drilled? That smell that comes off as your teeth are getting drilled? That. She smells like that.
That's both my character and real life reaction to that smell. Not good.
Yeah, she doesn't smell great. But you could definitely sense like she's a Soulforged, and she has not the void Soulforged smell, but she does have a smell that is very similar to that.
Vidar is going to watch Ilya smelling the Soulforged, and then kind of try to do his own little smelling, like internal analysis, whatever it is that Warforged do to actually smell.
Go and make a perception check. Go make a perception check for me. If you're actually gonna like sit and try and figure out what he's smelling, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh,
wow,
bro.
Rogue
That's the first. That's the first roll of the night. That's sick.
It is. It's starting
so
off
sick.
strong. Starting off strong. Better than last time. Last time.
You
I
used
last
all
night,
the
20 on
luck.
the
You
night.
used all the luck for that.
It's worth
How
it.
dare you?
It's worth it.
So you're not really sure what he's smelling because you're smelling, like you can definitely see the brand flakes. You can smell like how everyone, like Sabis, Lorshik, and Ilya, each have like a specific scent that goes with them chemically. Technician even has like basically his internals are lubricated, and that's sort of what his smell like. But when it comes to Draug, you can only smell a little bit, a tiny little baby bit of that like bone dust smell. You can catch that and you realize that like he must have some sort of like sensory organ or something that's special to be able to sense, because you're literally like, when I say parts per million, I'm talking like maybe 2 parts per million of that comparatively like the sense of that everyone else has. So you're like, when I say barely there, I'm talking like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction levels of things. And if he could smell that enough to be really not good with it, that means that he has some, you're just trying to think of it logically and you're not really sure how that would work, but you are very sure that it does work. So and Casimir sort of looks and he says, "Greetings, Draug. I just came to make sure that you all had a good time and you arrived back safely. Cyclops said you were good until you fell asleep or something. So this is her then. Are we going to the forge? Are you going to the forge?"
I was planning on it, but we already have a tracker. I wasn't sure if we should start out immediately or not.
It's up to you. We are not really in a hurry. We have not heard anything from the enemy or any movement so far. If only Ilya, you said that you found or potentially saw the Soulforged, the bad one.
Void. Soulforged.
Sure.
I was tracking 2.
Where were you exactly?
Where was I exactly? North of here.
It wouldn't be north of here.
Damn it.
You would have been tracking. We'll actually go to the world map to show you where you were last. You were tracking one specifically in Artstat, in the northern areas of Artstat over here. Let me
I
show.
was tracking one northern Arstad.
And you made your way back shortly afterward. But you were sure that the Void Soulforge was around there, but you weren't sure exactly where. Within maybe 100 miles or 100 miles or so. And these maps are like, Artstat from one side to the other is like, I think it's like 15 days or something if you were to go from all the way from one side to the other. So
how long would I have teleported back here, or do I take the journey
you would have taken a ship over this way. They've now been taking
That's like a month on the ship, I guess.
yeah, you'd have been taking you would have been taking a refugee ship, essentially, as you're trying to help the Hodejäger specifically try and take refugees from anywhere else to Garansk, because that's like one of your missions as a Burning Eye person. They like to make sure everyone's good. But yeah, the last place you were about a month ago was here, and then as soon as a couple days ago, when the Void Soulforge was created, the whole world was drenched in this sort of like awkward smell of like carbon smoke and what is the other one? It's like carbon, the smell of burning carbon, like raw carbon specifically, and ozone. Because ozone smell is very specific. Like electrical fire smell is very specific. And those are the two things that you smelled a couple days ago after you arrived here. And then you were tracking another one who smelled of blueberries.
Of course, yeah. As you do.
In Artstat, there's another Soulforge that smells like blueberries.
So 2 Void Soulforged and
Just
Artstat.
one Void Soulforge, and then there's another Soulforge that you were trying to find that smelled like blueberries. So
Gotcha.
the Void Soul Forge being created was a couple days ago. What was it? 3 days ago? 2 days ago? Right when the sky basically turned into
Three,
stars.
yeah, yeah, 3-ish, because that was we did the fast hop back and then got
Yep.
all the way back to cell time, and 3 days between then and now. So yeah.
So you do know of one that is an art stat that smells of blueberries, and there are 3 or 2 more on after that you're not really sure where they are. So
Okay.
your range is quite limited, up to a point. So and then when the Void Soul Forge was created and you looked up, essentially the whole night sky, if you were to remove the atmosphere and see raw space, that's literally what you could see. Is literally all of the stars, all of the aura, all of the nebulae, everything you could see raw, just by looking up. So it was one of the most intense and amazing things. Except you could smell, like the awful smells of the Void Soul Forged. You're not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So we're going back to Ferald's Foundry.
I need to have a quick conversation with Stanislava.
Okay. You know where she is, so.
Stanislava, hello. I believe Lordship gave you something that belongs to me.
So you're going straight into Stanislava's quarters?
She's not in like the big. Oh, actually, yeah, no, because we're at the. Yeah.
You're at the Blackstone Citadel right now.
I mean, I'll be polite as per usual. Knock on the door. Stanislava.
She comes out, and Stanislava, for those unfamiliar, she's a full giant. Did I say she was a full giant, or I think I said she was half giant, right? I can't get my own facts straight when it comes to this stuff. I know one of you has notes on it. But Stanislava comes out. She's huge, and she's got flowing red hair, and she comes out and she says, "Yes, technician, what is it?"
Hello. Lorishik said he gave you something that belongs to me.
Yes. And he did not.
I would like it back.
No. We are trying to figure out how it works. If you can explain to me how it works and how we could potentially make more for the rest of us, that is exactly what I want from you. I'll give it back if you can get us more.
I can get you the person that made them. If I can take one apart, I might be able to recreate them. More importantly, I can explain to you exactly how they work.
Fair enough. She pulls out the grenade from her bag. You and I have an agreement. You get me more of these, and I will give this back to you. Are we?
Don't we have a little buff gremlin with a shotgun that could probably explain all of this to them? You know, the character who's been around for at least like a day.
Bolo, yeah, I was actually going to explain. Bolo the Blastmaker has a ton of these. He knows where to get more, definitely.
I gotta say, then we send him off to go be like a restaurant manager. Can't we just like go bring him back?
Hang on a second.
We can send
Bolo, the service worker hell.
He is Briggs. That's it.
What's his restaurant called? It's not the Magnomi restaurant, is it?
No. It's we didn't send him to be a restaurant manager. We sent him to the Crag to check in on our refugee smuggling operation / charcuterie, Renault's rations. And we haven't heard back from him in a while, so we should probably follow up on that.
He will have to function as a restaurant manager. You bastard.
And keep in mind, Bolo is like a goblin that has 18 strength and 20 constitution. So he's literally the most buff goblin you've ever seen. He also wields a shotgun as his like main wepen because he's a gangster.
He's a buff little gremlin. He's like Calvin all grown up.
He is
Calvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just going to give Stanislava the breakdown on how they work and explain there's nothing special about this. This is an ordinary frag grenade, and the magic was cast on it. That's it.
Oh, okay. So I need you to teach some of the warriors that have this magic as well, so we can get them this as well. Because if we become under attack, that solves so many issues just immediately. So if you get what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. Right. I can teach them real quick now before I head back to the forge.
Sure. Take a day. I will get you new yeet stone so you can go down to the forge or whatever you need. And she literally gives you the grenade back. And get me Bolo. At least send a message to him. I have the other part of his. I have the other part of his sending stone here. If you'd like to send message as well.
Yes, please. What is the word to activate it?
Oh, boom!
Boom.
It
Bolo.
like this. It literally goes. It literally starts sparking like a piece of dynamite. It goes, and then it literally like lights up like you're ready to talk.
Bolo. Warbands need more grenades. Will explain in time, but found a way to make them very effective. Not sure why broken common.
Okay. You send the message, and Stanislawa takes the sending stone back, puts it in her pocket. Okay. Is there anything else that you need before you leave?
Has there been any word on looking for on Illisan's location?
I have sent people out to look, and we have no word yet. Last time she was seen. There's new things. Because the rumors are that something happened, and she now has to change what she looked like. She was supposedly in what's the city name? She in Bersenye Artstadt. That's where she is supposedly. We have trackers following her, but they have not come up with a lot. She's very good at hiding.
It sounds like we might be headed that way.
I put
That is excellent news.
Put the correct spelling of Bersenye into the group chat. So,
Thank you. I don't believe I need anything else. Have any of the others been by?
negative. ...
Everybody else?
No. Everyone that's out on mission has been out, and they will be out for like 2 or 3 months probably at minimum, to make sure they get what they're doing, because not a lot of them have yeet stones. You guys have been like using the vast majority of the yeet stones over and over again, but you take priority for those anyway. So outside of the really big expensive ones.
Did we I can't remember because it's not in my notes. Did we ever hand off the shopping list from the forge to anybody?
Yes.
We did. Okay.
Yes, because Cyclop came back with it, and he handed it off.
That's right. Okay.
And
Perfect.
that's going to be a process where getting to a lot of tool steel is going to be a little bit of an issue from Goransk, but they have been tasking when you're talking to Kuzma and Casimir, because Casimir is like leading the whole refugee thing right now, besides him and the Prince Zarek. Prince Zarek actually meets with you later on that day, so you guys are basically going to spend the whole day in the warbands in Goransk, just chilling, making sure you're good. Ilya, you're probably making sure you're good. Actually, Technician, when you see Ilya, you see a very if you were to equate Ilya, if you were to equate your weapon to a modern version of it, bolt action, what would it look like?
K98? Right?
Yeah, sure. The car 98?
Yeah, Car 98K.
Yeah. So he literally has a bolt action hunting rifle.
Got it. Okay.
What, Lorishik? What do you look like that for, huh?
I'm just horrified. I'm
What?
horrified
Of guns?
of technician and more guns.
More guns. You can't ever go wrong with more guns, you know?
I think in this case, mostly technician.
Yeah, I would say probably technician more than the gun itself.
Luerchik remembers something that that Rep said one time, which is the only solution to guns is more guns.
I mean, technically, you're carrying around a gun too. Technically speaking.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Who has a gun?
Loershik has one of Ferald's Castigator, which can shoot ranged bursts of energy at people twice per day.
And every single one of us has a Glock in the bottom of her backpack for emergency situations only.
Oh, just wait until Samus gets her gun too. Her like ridiculous. I can't wait. I have an idea. I have an idea for it, by the
call
way.
that a gun and more a sacrificial piece of artillery.
Oh no, I have a plan for it because the way that you want to do it is not practical. They're going to give you a practical version.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you take the whole day, unless anyone is doing anything specific. Vidar, are you doing anything specific for the rest of the day?
Since we were told to not bring Draug to the forge, to bring her to the war bands, we're going back to the forge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be trying to figure out if she's coming with us or if she's doing service to the war bands without us.
It wasn't she like begging for us to take to the wasn't she begging us to take her to the forge? Wasn't that something that happened, or am I misremembering?
She
kind of
She-
zoning out.
If you want to talk to her about it, you can. I just need
Yeah,
to
Vidar.
get my voice ready for this.
I was trying to remember from last session.
Vidar is going to approach her and just be like, I believe that when we were back in Karska, it was said that you should not come to the forge with us. Is the warbands your final destination, or is that just you're not going to stay in the forge if you come with us?
No. I want to go to the forge. I can help there. I just need the material first.
I assume for your crafting, material might be bones.
Correct.
I do not believe we have much of that at the forge.
I would not think so.
Perhaps the beast butcher has some bones we can use.
Ilya would know that.
How would we ask him?
I look to the sky and scream, beast butcher.
That might work.
Maybe we can find your nearest cemetery.
You want to steal bones?
Cemetery.
Bones are bones. Doesn't matter
this
if you
is
get from
true.
cemetery or from beast butcher.
As you say that, Ilya, you know that the Beast Butcher uses bones in like literally everything that he does, and he also has like these giant, the giant lizard, like the giant dinosaurs that they have just started to ride recently as a result of your actions, by the way. Because a little while ago, you were tracking in our Verdengard, and you came along some of the baby, like the little eggs of their dreadsore, like things. The blood hunters. You guys remember those guys, the giant lizard men? Well, Ilya found a pair of a male and female egg of those giant lizards, and the Beast Butcher has begun to breed them. And yeah, you brought them back. They weighed like 100 pounds each, and they were like, yay big. And yeah, just the raw amount of bones that you get from them eating things, you definitely there's definitely many bones to be had.
Of course, we can go to beast butcher
Sure.
for your bones.
She looks at you and she goes, and she just nods.
She is happy with this.
You guys go down to the Beast Butcher area. So this Goronsk is built on a gigantic plateau made of black stone, and at the bottom of it, the Beast Butcher has this giant field where all of his animals roam, and like his camps are set up on the outside of it in these like really large buildings that he's converted into his area. And as soon as you get in there, you notice that they're keeping all the bones in this sort of pit, and they're burying them. And she walks over and she looks at them, and you see her like put her hand out, and then she squeezes like this, and all of the bones pull themselves out of the dirt and then start compacting into this really tight sphere, and then shaping themselves into a sort of octagonal D12 style dodecahedron style thing. And she brings it over to herself, and she's basically compacted like what would be, because most bones are like hollow or have very little inside of them. She's compacted the whole thing of bones into a like 2 or 3 foot wide dodecahedron, and then she opens a bag on her side and shoves it in there.
This will be good. Thank you.
That was the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. Why was it why was it dodecahedron? Wait, am I smart enough to know what a dodecahedron is? I don't think I am. Why was it funny shape?
It makes easier for rest of storage.
And she literally opens it, and you can see inside that she has about 15 of these bone dodecahedrons. And when you put dodecahedrons together, they actually fit together almost perfectly. When you put them inside of, like, they literally have a shape that you can make concentric shapes with them.
Cool.
So literally they're all stuck together, and it's like basically for volume, you can put a lot of those together without having to worry about it. It's called the Planck theorem or something, where like literally as long as you convert them to a shape that fits together, you can actually fit more area into a smaller area. I don't remember what's Planck theory. I don't remember what's called.
I think you're confusing Planck theory and GZIP.
Sure. But either way, she literally has like 13 of those bone shapes in there. So she has like a ton of materials. You're not really sure how it's in there, because it'd probably weigh a lot, but you don't know. So you guys head back up to the main area, and yeah, Stanislawa takes your Yeet Stone and gives you a new one, Lorshik. She gives you just a brand new one, so you can leave right away, because Yeet Stones generally have a 3-day waiting period on them. So she gives you a brand new one, or one that's not on cooldown at the moment.
Where are we headed?
I believe our next destination is the Forge. And then I assume from there we will go find Soulforged.
So if we take this to the Forge, we'll have to be at the Forge for 3 days. But perhaps we can ask someone to take Braug directly to the Forge, and we use this to go to Artstedt.
Is Technician back with the group, or is he still bothering Stanislava?
I would have been showing the people who know how to cast Conjure Barrage how to do the thing, but that wouldn't have taken particular. That's like a 30-minute thing tops. Yeah. Unless we get like a really dumb ranger. Can I roll for dumb ranger? No. Yeah, I'm probably back with the group now.
Technician, do you have forging to be done that would take up 3 days, or should we?
I have about a half a day of forging. Maybe a little longer. Not 3 days worth.
It seems like it would be a waste to spend 3 days there for half a day's worth.
I believe
Hey,
we have
Stanislava.
a Yeet Stone that goes directly to the forge. Do we not? A different Yeet Stone.
I have a sending stone for the forge.
You do have a sending stone that goes directly to Vizim.
To where, sorry?
Vizim is one of the other
Okay.
Soulforged.
Did you mishear it the same way we all misheard it the first time?
Vagine?
No,
Yeah.
Vizim, Viszim.
Yeah, I heard that.
Um. Ah, dang it.
Stanislava, have we identified any way to create a portal to the forge yet? We talked about it a while back.
Oh, no, Ches Toulette told me that she's looking into the technology, but she has not responded yet on the sending stone. I also have Kuzma currently making me a better version of the sending stone that you can actively talk to each other. So
That's very cool.
It's very, very expensive. Being around Casimir
Oh.
makes it very hard to say these, by the way. He's just such an issue. It's funny. Most of the time, anyway.
Do you want him
So
to come with
less
us?
of a sending stone and more of a rocky talkie.
Very true. That's not a bad name for it.
Does Vajim or Cheslet have their own sending stone that we could perhaps use so we can leave the forge more quickly than 3 days?
Yes, Regime does have her own as well. She has a Yeet stone that you can use.
Okay, perhaps when we get to the forge, we can trade this Yeet stone for Vajim's, and we can leave after technician finishes work for the day.
Sure.
I will work quickly. Yeah, literally. I just want to wrap up the hammerhead and bring that along for the
Sure.
ride.
Yeah, that's not an issue. You don't even have to roll for it because that's one of those things that you know what you're doing. Just put one in your
All right.
inventory.
Sweet. Okay.
Casimir, are you coming with us?
No, I am not. I have to deal with incoming refugees. We have many coming from Artstadt and the Green Place.
Okay, do me a favor and stop being a bother for Stanislava.
I try.
Stressing her out.
It's not my fault. Being put
It's
into
okay.
leadership position makes me uncomfortable. Okay, I don't know what to say to you.
It's okay, Callum.
Callum.
I mean, a lot of stress lately. For me too. Are we ready to yeet? I hold out the stone. With
Are
our
you
powers
okay?
combined,
Are you okay? You just called somebody by your dead friend's name.
It-
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Are we ready to go?
Does he smell any different? Does he smell okay?
Yeah, he smells fine.
Let's
And you
let's go.
you all yeet. So, Ilya, this is one of your first time. You've seen people yeet all the time, but you've never really been part of it. He basically throws the stone forward, and all of you are holding hands, and it pulls you in to this portal, and then you arrive on a large steel platform inside of a cave that has lava directly underneath it. Basically, you're in like an underground cave outside of this giant metal wall that has a gigantic rune door in front of it with a single like keyhole for it, but it's like a triangular prism keyhole. And you're standing on a platform, and there's a big divot on the bottom of it.
It's too warm in here.
Vidar's gonna walk up to the door and unlock it and say, "It unfortunately is not any cooler inside."
The door, you hear the locking mechanism open, and then it opens outward. And yeah, you see the inside of the forge for the first time. You've heard rumors about the Forald's Foundry, Forge, Factory. They're all names for the same place. And there literally is like, this is like, I can't even put into like numbers how big this factory is, but it's basically a giant floor with a bunch of machines, and they're everywhere. And you only see like 2 people at the moment. You see a Duragar, so a deep dwarf, and a what appears to be a dryad or some sort of elemental creature. But the second you go in there, you can smell that those 2 are soul forged. One of them smells one of them smells like sandalwood, and the other one smells very much like temper. Like the raw smell of temper is very sort of calming.
So you have found 3 Soulforged.
That is correct. Unfortunately, we believe that Umbal has created a new void Soulforged.
It's not good. Why must we come to this forge?
They want to save
I'll look
me
at
from the
technician.
outside.
The outside.
You cannot come in here unless you know about it. It's impossible to teleport inside.
What an interesting place.
And Vidar gestures to all of the runes on the door. The reason we had to teleport to the outside is that the magic barriers prevent anything from entering without permission.
And
Nice magic.
as you guys are doing that, Auroch hears you guys come inside and walks over to you. Auroch is an ogre, and he sort of walks over and he goes,
It's my favorite people. Technician, I have made progress.
and he takes his book out and he literally like shows you the plans, and he literally has prototypes for your weapon, and then also for Sabas's weapon as well. So he literally has like prototype versions that are not fully functional yet, or at least not that can fire more than once yet, because he needs more raw materials in the grades that he requires, which is also part of the tool steel action as well. So once he gets the materials, your weapons will be complete, which should be in the next couple weeks. So Vizim also comes over and says, "Oh, greetings. How was your travels? Did you find holy moly?" And Draug sort of just nods at her, and she nods back like they know exactly who each other are. What is anyone doing anything while you're here?
Sorry, so a little confused. So Auroch has a prototype of the hammerhead? Because
No, of your other
or
one.
no?
Is that,
Which other one?
No. He does have a prototype of it, but it is flayed. Like literally, it looks like he fired it and the barrel exploded.
Oh,
So he
okay.
has literally been testing like the ideas behind what you have. He just doesn't have materials that are strong enough to actually like do what needs to be done.
So don't add it to my inventory then.
No, not yet.
Okay, got it.
He literally just needs the materials, and
try.
he'll have it ready. He'll have it ready for you, as well as a new variant of what you wanted, Sabas. Except he's figured out that like having a physical like mechanism for it is a lot more expensive than just having a gigantic cartridge behind it that you can load with gunpowder. It's actually much easier to do that, especially if you want it to be fire and forget. It's just a tube that you jam a bunch of gunpowder into. You put a giant ballista bolt in that sucker, and it just wrecks shit. But again,
I mean, a ballista rifle sounds really funny.
no, it's literally just like a fire and forget missile launcher, essentially, except
Thinking
instead of a missile, it's a giant ballista bolt, is what he's
Yeah.
figured out. But the
Yeah,
problem,
just like a giant ass like shoulder mounted ballista that looks like it came from Hunt Showdown
yep,
in some sort of development sequence gone horribly wrong.
so far, yeah. The problem is
We'll
that like
just
the
confuse
canister,
everybody and call it a javelin.
Yeah.
the canister that he like houses everything in is like exploded on the inside. It just looks mangled
Well.
because of his testing process has not figured out. He needs a better material to basically make the barrel out of, essentially.
Auroch, this is significant progress. Thank you very much for working on this.
Oh,
I understand you need stronger material. Tool steel will help.
yes.
I agree, thank you.
It's why I put it in there. It's part of it now. So, my order will be part of making your weapons for you.
Oh, greetings. And it's like this giant ogre walks over to you, Ilya. He says,
Auroch.
Ilya, I also have a weapon.
and he takes
hold
it
out
in
my
his
rifle.
huge hands. Oh. He just looks at it and he like looks at the temper like settings and like all the things in it. Interesting. I like it a lot.
No
Do not be
calibration needed.
do not be fooled by his size. Uruk is actually very adept at working with very small, intricate parts.
But his hands are so big.
He's extremely skilled.
What kind of creature is he again?
said. Huh?
What kind of creature is he?
He's a full-on ogre. Like
An
so he's
ogre.
really big man's. Yeah. He has a Krausen and Grits tattoo. He has a big red bear on his body as well.
Is there some kind of greeting between the Warband's clans, or
The standard
Like-
would be like hurting each other, but in this instance, it's very much like we're all cool guys doing cool guy stuff here. But it would probably
Okay.
be like it would probably like if it wasn't in like a time of the world's going to end, it would be like you guys exchanging like at least one hit on each other, like shooting each other or like something else like that. Because normally the
How-
war bands war with each other, but when this kind of situation happens, they unite, and it's really interesting. So.
where's his tattoo again? Like front shoulder?
Yes, it's like literally
Can I
covering
reach?
his whole like thing.
Can I reach up there with a slap?
Yeah.
I'll give him a slap on the tattoo.
And then he reaches down, whap, and you're like, oh no, because this guy's super strong. He slaps your tattoo. He's like, oh. It's like Charlie horse. Oh my god.
You're powerful.
You have to be to work with the materials as well. But Vizim comes over to you guys. I got a message from Stanislawa, and you need my yeet stone, correct? She goes
Yeah.
over to Loershik and hands him her yeet stone, and like you guys exchange them.
I trade.
Okay. Thank you. But be careful. Do you have the compass with you by chance?
Pull out the compass.
May I?
Sure.
She takes a look at it and she like starts inspecting it, turning it around, turning it over, looking at it. Interesting. Draug, I've heard about you. I've done a little research in my own. Can you help with this? And she looks at it and she takes it herself and she pulls out like a small chunk from her like little bag of, you're not really sure if it's a bag of holding or something bigger. She pulls out a sliver and she starts sort of using her magic to add bone segments to the compass. And she says,
Yes. Now you can find more than one.
and she hands it back to you, and the compass now has 3 little needles on it that are all sort of spinning, and then shoo, they stop spinning. One of them, because you guys are currently technically in the crag, where you currently are. Well, I'm gonna go to the world.
Are we?
No, you're in Verdant.
Thrall's Forge was in the Verdant Guard.
Yeah, you're in the Verdant Guard. Sorry, so you guys are right around here where the G is in Verdant Guard. And one of the compass pointers, the main compass pointer, is going toward Artstadt, like right in this vicinity here. Another one is spinning, sort of, like very slowly around itself. And then there's another one pointing back to Siltheim.
Why is this one spinning? Is it because of 3 of you?
No. It means that one is in Verdengard, potentially.
Ilya, would we need to make it to the surface for you to be able to smell out Soulforged?
For sure. But I must also find a trail of some sort. We have, I think, 2 options really. Try Verdengard, or go across to Arstadt. But we know Void Forged are there also.
As well as our long lost friend and the king.
I feel like regardless of what we choose, we should choose to go to the capital. More space and more options for Void Soulforged to have been there. They're going to infiltrate. They're not going to be secluded hermits in the woods.
It is much faster for us to go to Vertengard since we can eat stone there. Artstadt would require us to travel.
Yeah, because no one here. Actually, Ilya has been to Artstadt. To at least 2 of those cities.
You said the third one was pointing to Seltheim, correct?
Yes.
Pointing to Seltheim to the east, or pointing to Seltheim to the west, or is this a flat planet?
It's not flat per se, but if you were to point in a direct line, it would be where the capital of Siltheim is. I don't remember what it's called. What's it called? What are you called? Capital of Siltheim. I know it's my own world. Irelis or Forborg. One of those 2 cities is the closest point at which it's pointing.
Got it. So no chance it's in Nilhund.
No chance it's in Nilhund. Not at all. And then in Artstadt, it's pointing directly to the center, so it could be Initmon, Rulain, or Kor. I will spell those out for you guys in the thing.
Ilya, if you have been to Artstadt, or at least any of the cities there, we could use you to yeet stone directly to Artstadt. That would save us significant time. Now, there's only one Soulforged that we want to find there. The other will, for all intents and purposes, be hostile.
We could do this. Again, I have no information about Verdengard or Siltheim, but Arstadt I know Void Forged are also looking for Soulforged.
You know if they've found any Soulforged?
I don't know this. I did find trail for Soulforged. They taste like blueberries. Sorry, they smell like blueberries.
I was concerned for a moment there, Ilya.
The sense of smell and taste are very highly linked.
This is true.
If we were to yeet to where you last saw the trail, would it be fresh enough for you to follow it?
It is something we can try for sure. But from Arstadt to Vorbans, 1 month on a fucking boat is not good for my nose. Full of salt and this sweat from sailing people.
Salt and different salt.
Salt is not good. Makes it dry.
It feels
I
to
would
me that
suggest-
we should plan to go to Verdengard.
I would suggest that we have a trail to follow in Artstadt, even though it is a more dangerous trip.
I would prefer Verdengard, although if Void's forces are tracking the Soulforged as well, and we may have a trail, it may be more prudent to do that.
Also possibility, if I can't find trail for Soulforged, we find Voidforged for trail also. If they are looking for what we are looking, we follow Voidforged.
Ilya, we know that you mentioned that Draug smells like bones, kind of. What do Vajim and Cheslet smell like to you?
What was it again? Sandalwood and
Temper.
temper.
Or like,
So-
like the forge that you make temper in is like a very specific magical forge. It smells like that.
Okay. So it's like molten temper.
Yeah.
Ogre smell of molten temper. Other one, a fragrant tree.
So the one that can bend temper smells like temper, and the one that can change objects into wood things smells like wood, and the one that can bend bone smells like bone. What could a blueberry soul forged do?
That's a good fucking question.
Blueberry, Mancy. A chef? Armies do march on their stomachs. It would behoove us to have a very good chef to feed 30,000 troops. Plus, however many machine. Oh, the Warforged do not eat.
Ilya, do you have a disguise, or has nobody seen you before? If you've been hunting Soulforged, I can only assume that the Void Soulforged know who you are.
Nobody knows who I am. The White Force never sees me.
Anyone who's seen him is currently dead. I see it in his aura.
So we've all seen him.
Because he let you.
Loershik,
Fair
if
enough.
you do not piss him off by making fun of him, we probably have nothing to fear.
Everybody must make choices. I choose to let you see me. What will you choose, lizard man?
I want no harm, and I take out one of my magic cards and hand it to Ilya.
Oh,
I take it from him.
Yeah. And
What is it?
He can read Draconic, so
I
Correct.
read
But
the.
remember what the magic does.
I don't remember, if I'm being honest with you. I'm trying
I
to
will
keep track of a
message
lot
her.
of things right now, so.
If you just
usually,
cast
I-
friends on him, I'm going to be pissed.
usually I must pick guard for this trick. Why you give me guard?
Yeah, you were an art staff for way too long, buddy.
I sent it to you.
And what does the card look like? Like, is it a playing card, like tarot card?
Looks like a stone tablet business card with draconic etching on it.
Very nice.
Does it have a watermark?
Yes.
Am I about to get cursed?
No. Yeah. So you guys are in the forge. What are you doing now?
What does the card say?
I think he's sending it to you.
No, I sent it to you,
To
Devin,
me?
because it's magic, right? So just click that link I sent you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It does read Loershik then. It reads Loershik the Venerable.
This is your name.
What does Loershik mean in
Well, also-
Draconic again?
Pain.
Pain.
I understand first word pain. What is meaning of venerable?
It's just a title. This card will allow you to more easily navigate the underside of the crag. If we ever get split up, or if you need to find your way back to me. See, I mean no harm.
Thank you.
Quick question: did you ask what is mean venerable in Draconic or common?
Both.
It means old.
So you are old, lizard.
It does not mean old.
Specifically, it means
might,
regarded with a great deal of respect, usually because of age.
especially because of age, wisdom,
So you are
or
old.
or character. You need to learn your common, technician.
So your name is Old Respected Pain.
Yes. Yes. My
Interesting.
name is Old Respected Pain. Yep. I just turn around and just walk away to a corner somewhere and just sit down.
Reprep's going to turn the volume down and just kind of lean over to Vidar and just be like, he threatened a tree and then stood right where grenades were going off. That is not wise and does not show character. Old.
Perhaps he was really leaning into the pain aspect.
Ah. I no longer have business here. Auroch is working on the project I intended to finish. It is now unfinishable.
Sabas, do you have maps of Artstat?
I don't know.
Sabas.
Hey, sorry. What's up?
Do you have maps of Artstat?
No.
No.
Sabas has a bunch of maps that are mostly fucked up now because of the shuffle of Verdengard to the crag, like this entire bay area underneath.
But
Some
I think
isolated ones in the crag, but she's never gotten ones of Artsat, or Still Time, or anything like that. This entire Ratai continent she doesn't have maps of.
yeah.
That will make it very difficult for us to know where we're going when we arrive. We will have to rely on Ilya's sense of smell when we arrive.
My maps are under it anyways, unless the Void Soulforged decides to be a hermit. We don't need them. I don't keep maps of the surface. Just mark cool things on the surface as a landmark.
There's a very good chance we would be taking the normal roads and going through cities. Our biggest threat will be regular guards and inquisitors.
Yeah, and Ilya, you know of the Inquisitors and how rough that kind of thing is, and how there are infinitely more of them in Artsat than there are anywhere else.
Inquisitors only see what is in front of them. Hiding is no problem from these people.
Do I notice anything about the business card? Loachik said it was something to... Well, he's smiling now. I don't like that. He said it was something to contact him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just, like, flip it between my fingers, try and figure out what he meant by that?
Go and make a investigation check, please. Or would it be Arcana?
I think either would. Arcana would give you part of it. Investigation would give you the other part.
Both
Fair
are
enough.
bad for me, so...
Oh,
Ooh.
bad, he says. Bad, he says.
Should I roll... You want me to roll both? Investigation
Yeah.
and...
Make an investigation
Arcana.
check. Because these are...
Gimme.
Oh, whatever,
okay.
bro.
With a +1?
How does that work, Lorshik?
So let's go do a lot of combat tonight because this is apparently the night for rolling good. Let's go.
Apparently.
Combat. Let's go.
Yeah, so...
I vote murder hobo with the capital city.
The card itself, it reads my name and my title, but it's clearly watermarked and showed that it has come from Daha Kohen, and it was made in Daha Kohen, and it's an official piece of leadership. Uh, it shows you that I am a member of what would be essentially Parliament, and then also the Arcana side of it. You can tell that there's something on it that makes it so it can change what appears based on the person, or reasons that are specifically around whether or not they're good natured.
Like what's on the card changes depending on who receives it?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
That's actually crazy clever.
Are you guys going to you're going to yeet, I assume, right?
Yeah, but like we've been basically discussing this whole time. Are we going to Verdengard somewhere? Or are we going to Artstadt? What are we doing?
If the Beast Butcher vouches for Ilya, and Ilya says that he has a scent in Archstadt, there's no reason not to take advantage of that scent. If we need to leave at any time, we can always yeet. And I definitely don't want to have to travel by boat from Siltheim or anywhere else to go to Artstadt anytime soon.
I agree with the strategy. Sabas, Vidar.
I agree. Let's not waste time.
I also agree with noble, venerable Luershik.
I lower my head and hold out Vajim's Yeet Stone. I think, Ilya, you'll have to use this since you're the only one who's been to Artstadt.
What must I do? Imagine my last place?
Vajim, will you explain to Ilya what he must do to use your Yeet Stone?
Sure. She walks over and she gives you a quick tutorial. Basically, it's imagine where you want to go, and then you throw, or where you've been before, essentially, in Artstadt, which you have two choices. Within Artstadt specifically, you've been to Bersigny and Bainmont. So Bainmont is like the big port, and then Bersigny is the port that goes directly from Siltheim. So they're basically two connections to the different parts of the world. Bersigny is like a sort of better port town for artifacts, arcana, magic stuff, and then Bainmont is like where food and other provisions are brought into Artstadt that they need.
And you said one's on the south side towards Siltheim and one's on the west?
Yes.
And the western one was it Beaumont?
Bainmont.
Beaumont.
We should get into our disguises before we leave.
Savis will wave a hand over her face and nothing will change.
As she does every time.
And I will copy her, thinking this does something.
Vidar will do the same thing, except for as he does it, the hologram is going to go down over his face, and his face is actually going to change.
Incredible disguises.
So, for Ilya's sake, you see Luershik change from this green and white lizard folk to a black and red lizard folk, and my robes change from a noble turquoise and silver to a very black and gray, like monk's robes, essentially.
And you see Technician Rep Rap. The top sort of bulks out, the bottom becomes leaner. The Steel Defender Bear that has been following Rep Rap around becomes a shield shape, and Rep Rap picks up the shield, wears it like a shield.
What's the terrain like in Archstadt?
Artstadt is very much like green countryside, essentially, like vineyard area. Everything is very gentle slopes. Even the mountains are it's very France. It's very French.
Okay.
It's actually
Like south of France, Nice kind of thing.
Yes. And you actually live fairly close to there, so yeah. So yeah. That's what Artstadt is like. Lots and lots of pompous people. They all wear the striped clothing. The colors there are red, gold, and white on every clothings.
Then I guess you follow my imagination to Bainmore.
I reach out and touch the stone.
You have the stone in your hand, and you imagine that you want to go. You're going to Baymont, right?
Yeah.
All four of you, the rest of you, you get pulled out to this large, just inside the gate port city. Looks exactly like what you would imagine in medieval France. Lots and lots of sort of Tudor-style housing, large buildings, large, very tall buildings comparatively to everywhere else in the world that you've been. A sort of show of grandeur, a lot of brass and bronze in the construction and structural areas. I need everyone to make a perception check real quick. Please and thank you.
Is it with my eyes or with my nose?
You with your everyone with your eyes for the time being.
My eyes not so good.
All right. Oh man, Ilya, not doing great.
Oh yeah, my character's blind, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Wow. Jeez, all of the rest of you rolled really well. The first thing that you notice as soon as you land is, all around you are like the people that are not clearly like salespeople. Like you arrive in like this large marketplace area with a large fountain in the middle of it. You're looking around, and anyone that isn't a vendor is wearing a bronze mask that is sort of a ripoff or like a similar thing to what the young King Shiram IV wore on his presentation and his dictation of the Inquisition. And
Is this bronze mask the same one that I have?
no, yours is much more intricate than these. These are very basic comparatively. And they don't appear to be made of bronze, they appear to be painted in that way. And there's
Did we
lots
just enter fucking Dragon Age? Swear to God.
Yeah, and we are currently at an hour and 37 minutes, so we're going to go on our 15-minute break. And we'll see you guys in 15 minutes while we landed in Baymont. And Welcome back, everybody, to Legendary Tales. We're getting right back into it. I know that Bisbee is here. He's just not on the right camera. I mean, the face is close enough to his. Let's be real. Honestly, there's not enough. There's not enough salt in that peppery beard, though. Let's be real. You need to get Monster to redo that thing and put a little bit of white in there. Hey, I'm there too. I have literally two full things of white that come down here. Two silver stretches. Okay. So we're actually in Artstat. Let me take us over to Artstat and add where are you, Hodieger symbol? Hodieger symbol. Boop. So you guys are in Beaumont, in the port city. So the city itself is here, but it actually extends all the way down. So this city is massive. It's probably about 20 or 30 miles wide, and they have a bunch of rivers that feed into the ocean that they take boats up and down on, and that's actually how a lot of commerce is done in this area, in all of Artstat. In Artstat, a lot of the commerce is done with these massive rivers. Most of the rivers are about 2 or 3 miles wide, and they just push out a ton of water. And that's how they do commerce, is they send boats up and down the river. And there's a large area where the salt water meets fresh water, and that's how they do a lot of their economy. And all of them are walking around in robes, and they all look very medieval France-ish. So a lot of big coveralls, a lot of tights, shoes, and anyone in armor is wearing that sort of like chainmail. But all the colors are red, gold, and white are their general colors. And a lot of the gold recently has been replaced with a brass or bronze material for a lot of the buildings and a lot of the other things to show that the King Shiram IV has changed the whole designation of most of his country to be bronze instead of gold. So a lot of it can be like sort of the patinaed teal look in addition to the red and white. So that being said, you all arrive. Ilya, you smell a lot of bread, fish, and a little bit of seawater. Not as much as you're used to from your boat travels, but outside of that, that's the only stuff that you smell currently.
What are you all looking at? My senses overwhelmed by the city full of unwashed peasants and garlic.
He's not wrong. Let's be real here.
I take a sniff. Do I smell meat or do I smell unwashed peasant?
Make a perception check for me, please. Mostly unwashed peasant over meat. Piss me, I swear.
I just kind of shake my head.
It doesn't smell great.
Do we have business in town, or are we just here to find the trail?
We must leave the city unless you want to find something here.
Then we should move.
Where you said center of the country, right?
Yes.
Near. Okay. So I should be heading northeast or like east along the road.
Initmont, Roulon, and Cour are all the cities that it could be pointing toward. Kesrada could be it, but you don't think so, because Kesrada is a very small community that just now got recognized to be put on a map in the first place. So they were not very big. And world history is something that all of you would know about. I would say that Sabis and Loershik probably less so about overworld politics and stuff like that. But Artstat is the most has the most people in it by a large margin now. Nilhund previously held that record, but now that they are gone, Artstat has a considerably larger population than the rest of the world. And I could actually give you full numbers if you would like, actual real numbers to that, because I have a spreadsheet for that, because I'm a psychopath. Gary's seen
The
it.
Soulforged are generally found near seats of power. The seats of power being capital cities in this case. Court is the capital. It would make sense to head in that direction.
I pull out the compass and look to where it points.
From your current standpoint, it points directly east. So closer to Roulon and Core rather than Inimo.
I show Ilya the compass. According to the compass, it's more likely near Court or Core than Inamo.
Then east we must go.
While they're having this conversation, is there anybody near us that is having any conversations?
Go ahead and make
Like
a perception
peasants?
check, please. There are people having conversations, but do you speak Elvish?
No.
Then you do not understand. Elvish would be the closest thing to French in this universe. And the people here, their standard common is both common and Elvish is like the two languages here. Like in the warbands, it's common and giant.
Wow, I hate elves even more now.
So, I have a slight meta question.
I have a meta answer for you, or potentially no answer to you.
The thing I picked up at level 10
Yeah?
makes it that way I can mimic the speech of another person or sound made by a creature if I have heard the person speaking or heard the creature make the sound for at least 1 minute.
Okay.
Would I be able to at least pick up some sort of accent that I can use
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
to blend in the future?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
So I could pass myself as a native art stadian.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, I'm spending while they're planning where to go with the compass. I'm listening to the locals for that.
And a lot of these people, the vast majority of them are half species, so they're either half orc, half elf, or other variant of that. A lot of them, actually, I could give you percentages. Literally, the vast majority of people in this area are either full-blooded elf, half-elf, or other half-breed as well. That's like the vast majority of them are that way. Art stat is yellow. And you guys are currently in Baymol. Or yeah, you're in Baymol right now. Yeah, Baymon is actually quite small comparatively to the rest of it, but the vast majority of people are humans, elves, and half breeds of specific elves as well. So this city is very large. It's actually a large farming community as well as fishing community. So a lot of the area, a lot of the houses are very far spread apart, but they're all linked by tributaries and other small rivers. At least that's what it says in my notes. Because I actually made notes.
Would it be best to take the road or to simply charter a boat to take us to the east?
Boats leave no room for cover. If we go by road, at least we can go into forest. If I was traveling alone, my plan would be follow road to Kisrade, then go north into forest. But we can go along road, no problem, also.
And another thing is that boats are considerably more expensive than horses are in this place. Because all the room that you could potentially take up could be cargo instead. So they charge a lot more for passengers than they do for cargo. That's another thing that Ilya would know as well. That it's very expensive to travel by boat.
It may be more expensive and offer less cover, but we are much less likely to be stopped by inquisitors on the water.
Are you
I have heard a
afraid of
rumor
inquisitors?
I have heard a rumor inquisitors do not swim. I am not afraid of Inquisitors, but any conflict that can be avoided should.
I do not mind which way we go, but a choice must be made. Noble, honorable, venerable Luerchik, what choice make you?
I think we should take the road. I prefer the idea of having cover. And I also, while I can swim, I'd much prefer to do that as a last resort.
I also prefer the concept of cover. And technician, do we have any spare tigers?
Perhaps. I do not exactly know what's in the bag until it comes out of the bag.
Okay,
I want to
just
do.
one- I
Sorry,
just
go
wanted
on.
to clarify what you meant by I prefer to not have.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I would like to insight check and understand what is meant by tigers here. Does he mean the animal? Is there something else I should know?
I'll tell you what. You do the insight check,
Yeah.
and I'll figure out how much I'm going to explain to you.
Uh huh. Oh.
I have this bag. It is a tan bag of tricks. When I reach my hand into the bag, there are 3 fuzzy balls. If I pull one of them out, it becomes an animal. Sometimes a tiger, occasionally an ape. One time, a hyena or jackal. So I can't remember what it was the first time. I feel like it was a jackal, something like that.
It was a dog of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah. We have used this to cause distractions and bypass gates. The last one was in fact a tiger. It mauled guards at the gate who stopped us to check our bags. I handed them that bag. It's not just me. Anybody that puts their hand in the bag can pull out an animal.
Animal for food.
I guess. If you eat animals. Actually, the thought had not occurred to me because I do not eat.
You have bag who is infinite animals. Infinite.
Not exactly. I have a bag with 3 animals per day. Actually, is that how that works? Hang on a second.
I think it is, but I don't know if their carcass stays around when they die, or if it disappears. You have to look up the item itself.
I know a man.
Sorry, go on.
I can make 10 pounds of food a day.
Yeah.
And we don't need to, well, summon, kill, and then clean, eat. There are a few processes more there.
Samus, sometimes it's just about the ritual.
I guess.
All right, so you guys are traveling on horseback?
No,
No?
I summoned my Drake.
Oh, obviously. What does your Drake look like? Actually, I have a thing. I have a thing for that. I have a thing for that, guys. I do. I have a thing.
He a silver boy as well.
Yeah, they're both silver. Although I would assume that yours is oxidized. You yourself are a little bit more oxidized. So this is what they look like.
Isn't he cute?
Such a cute baby.
So you are
All right.
a dragon riding a dragon.
Correct.
You'll need to find me a lizard to ride.
I delivered dinosaur eggs not long ago to Butcher. Maybe his breeding will allow you to find one you like.
I'm not opposed to the idea.
I'm going to mount my Drake.
For me, I will take a horse.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Horse like a peasant.
All of you get your horses and you begin to make your way out there. What is my scale for this map? It should be okay. So basically, the way I've designed it is it's gonna be 2 days to get to Kasrada, So, well, you guys get to about. Oh, yeah, I can't move with that one. You get to this crossroads about the first day, and there's like a couple small inns that have set up here because a lot of people do like to take breaks and stay at inns in between days. It's only 2 silver to stay at one of the inns if you would like to, or you can camp outside if you would like. What would you like to do?
I would prefer an inn. The last time that we stayed outside, it was somewhat wet and uncomfortable.
Ilya, do you prefer discretion or comfort?
Always discretion. But a venerable, noble, honorable member of Luerchik wishes to be comfortable, we can allow it for now.
Am I
You are
intimidated
correct.
by Ilya at all? Like,
We should make every attempt to make our elders comfortable.
Are you intimidated by him?
yeah.
I don't think it's so much intimidation as it is like confusion more than anything again, you know? Or like, I don't know, how do you perceive him? Because he's like an actual like dragon, so he's technically like a part of a dragon, which is sort of like, but he's not like a Narfir, but he's more of like an overworld dragon thing. So it's like less of a, it's sort of like you're the brother of my cousin's roommate from college type thing, rather than being part of the family.
But still has
Got
the
it.
Schwartz.
Okay. That helps.
But it's
Um,
it's not that he's intimidating. It's more the fact that he's like alien almost. Like this is a true version of a person from the war bands who is so far removed from like what you consider civilization and culture, being in the overworld for so long. He's so far removed from that it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, but he's trying his best. That is the way I would describe
Got
it. Does that make
Thank
sense,
you.
Ilya? Does that put it in a better perspective?
Yeah.
That he's just he feels alien to you in a way that you're just like a little bit uncomfortable with.
Like, there's no pretense to me as well. It's just like dead straight.
He apparently does not do metaphor or anything like that. It's just it is what it is.
Another technician. Got it. When technician makes the next comment on my age, I look to him and say, "Technician, when were you made?"
Approximately 4 years ago.
I'm only about 5 times as old as you are.
I apologize for not having been very respectful of my elders before. Venerable, noble, pain.
I
Something.
shove technician. I just shove him as hard as I can. Ilya, I'm happy to sleep outside if you'd prefer to sleep outside. You also don't have to join me in the inn if you don't want to. Yeah.
I'm like 90% certain I have been shoved.
You have been shoved. Can I do I sense the Voidwalker or any scent now we've left the city a bit more? Is there any trail I can pick up on? Because if not, then we can just be in the inn.
No, not yet.
Do I smell inquisitors anywhere?
You smell one. They all smell of
Delusion.
I want to call it rancid patchouli. So like hippies bathed in dead bodies.
Okay.
They all have that same smell because the incense that they use, some of them carry sensors to like cleanse things. And they're usually in the form of giant two-handed mauls that have a giant metal orb in the middle, but they fill that with burning incense when they smash people, and it smells horrible. It's the worst smell in the world, and a lot of them carry that around. The paladins carry that around, and it smells really bad, but it's very faint. You can smell it, but it's very faint.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with staying at the inn. For now.
At the inn it is then. And Rep Rap's going to turn and try to find the inn.
It's not hard to find. They're basically one on each side of the road. Basically one to the west, one to the east, and one to the south. The southern one seems a bit less used because a lot of the traffic is going basically north or just straight east. They don't really stop here. The people in the boats don't stop here. They just keep going. And then the southern inn is a lot less used, so there are very few people in there. All of you go into the inn, and it's actually quite nice. It smells of cinnamon and hot chocolate to everybody. It smells actually quite nice.
We have a tavern keeper or an innkeeper.
Yeah, there's a small little gnome lady who's running around on like an extended section of the bar that's meant for her to run around on, because she's a bit small, and there's a bunch of like step ladders that like steps that come off of this metal grate that's been added to it. And she greets you guys. Welcome. How can I help you?
I want like a minor sidebar with Loachik.
Sure.
Just like pull him like to the side a bit.
Righteous noble, honorable, venerable Loachik.
You can call me Loishchik. It's fine.
Do you have money?
I do have money. Do you need some money?
Please, small money. I give my coins to refugees.
You give all of your money to refugees?
They no money.
Is it?
I'm happy to pay for you. Go ahead.
I was say, is it 10 silver to a gold
It is.
or 100?
It's 10. It's 10, 10, 10. 10 all the way down.
I never live in inn. I don't have money.
I pull 40 gold out of my bag and hand it to Ilya.
This is probably
Wow.
this is probably the most money
This
that
can
you've
buy-
ever seen.
I may. Oh, thank you.
You can give as much of this to refugees as you'd like, but if you don't give all of it to refugees, instead you tell me the next time you want to give money to refugees, I'd be happy to give some of my own money, if you'd prefer.
Okay.
You need money to take care of yourself.
I live outside.
You're not wrong. Well, you keep that. I will pay for our rooms today, and yes, you just hold on to that. Do you need anything else?
I don't think you understand. Not physically outside.
I don't think I do understand.
Society does not allow me.
That's why not? Because you are dragonborn?
Depending where we go, Dragonborn are not always accepted.
I'm
This
sorry to hear
country-
that.
This country perhaps troubles in some cities.
How do you feel about that? Do you think it's deserved?
Well, you
You
can
think
tell he looks super
Dragonborn-
upset. He looks like he's choking up almost.
I put my hand on his back and say, "You always have a home in Dahakoan if you need one."
Thank you.
Have
While
you
they were doing their
slept in a
sidebar.
bed before?
Do you know how a bed works? Yeah.
Sometimes I don't quite understand the three seashells.
What a reference. I would love take inspiration. Take inspiration. We give inspiration for dumb stuff like that. We do that. We do that. here.
Surprisingly,
I
Jay,
mean,
this will surprise you. I know where that comes from.
what?
And Sneck
It went over
got the
my head,
reference.
so-
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah, you
'cause-
wouldn't have seen that. That movie was
I-
before you were born.
Yeah.
You don't watch
my
this.
my girlfriend made me watch that. I got very
Wow.
drunk next to her and watched that movie.
It's
It
so
was
good.
a
It's so
fantastic night. Oh, which one?
And
That
I'm
was the
going to
man.
make this comment real quick. The
It's
irony
really
that you
good.
haven't seen that is that in that movie, Taco Bell wins the restaurant wars, and
Yeah.
it happens to be your favorite food. So
Wait, what movie is this?
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. It's one of the best movies ever. One of the best movies ever. Literally ever.
Going on my list.
No, seriously. It's so good. It's so
It was not after I was born or before I was born. It was after.
When was it?
It's 93.
93?
93.
Anywho.
So the gnome has greeted us, and we've all just been like staring at her. No. So I think Bisbee, you said while that's
Sorry.
going on, you wanted to do a thing, right?
Yeah, well, she said 2 silver already, right?
yes, she did.
Okay, well, while they're having their little sidebar, Vidar just walks up and says, "We each need a room," and drops 2 gold on the counter.
Dang.
That's only double the price, right?
Yeah, she just looks at you. She goes, "Oh, okay." And she hops off of her little thing. She runs over to get a bunch of physical keys, and then she hands each of you a little key.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. You guys stay there for the night. The night passes unless anyone's doing anything weird for the night. Anyone have any plans?
Do we hear Ilya screaming, devouring bodies, anything like that in the middle of the night?
Do you do any weird stuff at night?
No weird stuff.
Yeah, Mickey's not here. If it was Mickey, there'd be weird stuff happening, but there's not weird stuff because Mickey is not here, thank goodness.
Just so out of curiosity, did we pass any shops on the way there, like nearby?
No.
Okay.
No, there wouldn't be shops here. This is just
Yeah.
taverns and place to stay. Because they don't have any
I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong spot. We're freaking Motor Lodge. It's a Waffle House and an inn. That's
Yep.
it. So,
pretty much.
Okay.
Yep. You awaken.
Waffle House, Sculpt and Go, Super 8. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
You sleep through the whole night. And you awaken the next morning, and it's bright and early. The sun is shining. It's actually quite nice. It's not snowing or anything. And you guys make your way to Kisrada. Kisrada is, as soon as you get closer to the town, Kisrada is a very small town. Barely anybody is there. When you look at it, it's only like 4 or 5 buildings. A bunch of buildings are under construction. There's a dock, like they're actually building a what's it called, a lock, where you put boats and then they have to go up in the river.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on a canal.
Yes, they're basically building a canal and then putting locks in there to help people, because this is a specific part of the river that tends to get short, and then basically it has its own like tide things that happen to it. So they're trying to mitigate that and help boats travel upriver over here. Yeah, but there's only 5 or 6 buildings as soon as you arrive here later in the afternoon. What are you guys doing?
Is any of those buildings a thrift trader, a general store, anything like that?
One of them is a general store, yes.
Right. Yeah. Rep is just going to pop in there real quick.
Okay.
Hello. Have you seen this? And he's basically just going to sketch out real quick on the countertop the discs or anything like it.
No, I have not. She's looking at you and she looks a little confused. No. I am sorry. I apologize. I have not seen a thing of this description. You may ask some of the traders. outside. They do set up their carts in the morning if you would like to talk to them.
Thank you for your time. And just leave. The traders aren't outside right now, are they?
No,
Because
they're
it's later evening. Okay.
No, you do see the carts and the sort of like stalls that are there. They're semi-permanent, but the actual traders are nowhere to be found at the moment because it's coming on sunset right now.
If we plan to stay here for the night, I need to talk to the traders in the morning.
All right, are you
Ilya,
guys?
you've been to Raymond. Is there anywhere else that you've been on Artstadt? I believe you mentioned another place.
Where was I? I was traveling up north,
Orsinier,
right?
maybe?
No, down south in Bersigny is the other place you've been. The place where they trade in exotic goods and everything else. Up here, it's more of a foodstuffs and supplies. Down there is a luxury trade port.
I was in South Bessigny.
You don't have any familiarity with this area specifically or what might lie ahead on the road.
No. This is why, if traveling alone, I would go through forests and not on the road. But with such a large party, I think we will attract some attention.
Perhaps. We have in the past, because our friends here don't have to sleep, we've traveled overnight and just slept on our horses or in our carriages, depending on what we have available. Not sure if that is of interest to you, if you'd be comfortable doing that.
Traveling at night, not such a bad idea.
Of course, you would
Is
be
your-
able to sleep.
Can we sleep during the day?
Well,
The way this works
yes.
is that Vidar and I, because we do not need to sleep, ride our horses through the night with you sleeping on your mounts. If your Drake is comfortable being led by the bridle, we can lead your Drake as well. The way it works is we can travel all day and all night. People who need to sleep can.
This may work for me.
Is your Drake being comfortable being led by the bridle?
Artur, давай.
And I'm gonna lead my Drake to Technician Rep Rap.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Yeah.
he react
No.
positively?
He doesn't really have a reaction. He doesn't appear to be negative or positive. He just appears to be like cool. As long as you're the one like telling him to go along with it, he seems to be okay with it.
Vidar is going to nod and be very excited that the Drake was given to Technician and not himself.
Technician is going to wave at the Drake. Hello.
Here, take food for Artur.
I'm gonna hand the little bag of human leather that was given to me earlier to the technician.
I will take the skin bag. Canonically, it is made out of skin. It is brand skin and contains brand flakes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a human skin bag with human flesh inside of it.
So tonight we sleep. Tomorrow we travel.
That is a solid plan. We sleep here overnight, then we can travel all day and all night.
Excellent.
We should find another inn. Scanning.
There is a fairly large inn nearby, right across from the general store. and it has like 2 extra levels in addition to the base level. It appears to hold a lot of people. You can assume mainly construction workers and other engineer types for making the locks and the canal on the river itself. A lot of the workers are being housed here for the time being, albeit temporarily. And yeah, she looks. There's a man behind the counter. He's a very large shirtless man. He appears to have. He's like basically a big old dad bod, and he has like a little happy trail going to his belly button. He seems to be very jolly. A short trimmed beard, and he just looks at you and says, "Greetings. How are you?"
We are well. We require 5 rooms for staying overnight.
Sure. That would be a gold each, if please.
Here, I can pay this time.
I stop his hand from giving the person his gold and put the 5 gold on the table. You save this for when we're not together. I will pay for you while we're together.
Okay.
Gold's a bit much.
Does Sabbath say that?
Yeah.
Well, as they say, supply and demand. Demand is high, supply is low, and workers take priority. Everyone else, it also goes toward their salary, so they stay for free, and what you pay helps us for infrastructure. So I think is fair price. I apologize. It is what it is, and that is all. I apologize, but this also includes food. It includes food as well. So I'm not.
That is food. Where is your food?
If you go over here, and he points over on the far side, there's actually a buffet that is constantly being replenished because the workers are coming and going. They appear to work almost in shifts on 24 hours. And they come and go, so there's literally always food there ready to eat. So
I'm sorry, real quick. Did Lorchik pay for just Lorchik and
no,
Ilya?
he paid 5 gold. He paid for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Now you must add generous to your card. Venerable, honorable, noble, generous, Luerchik.
I, to be clear, did not come up with venerable. It was given to me.
You have many names now.
Just Luershik. That's my only name.
Vidar, I have a proposition.
Vidar looks up from whatever he's doing.
So perhaps going to turn the volume very far down again and sort of leaning close to Vidar.
Did you fix your
The
volume?
Dragon Man. The
Did.
Dragon Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I make my volume roll?
It wasn't damaged. Remember, it was.
Oh,
it was
right.
Oh,
That
okay.
possibility.
I thought we were doing it every time. Yeah, I was on the same
No,
page.
no. That was
Right,
the
right.
one when that explosion happened. That was the time it could be damaged, and then you did fix. There were parts wrong, but it was not with your voice knob. So there's a
Got it.
chance that it was stuck on really really high or really really low, and you rolled well enough that it was not.
That gif. Vidar, have you noticed how the Dragon Man has a smaller dragon, a faster dragon that he rides on?
Yes, I have.
Which do you think
he
of
gave you the reins at one point.
Yes. Which of us do you think is faster?
I'm not sure. I do believe that as we're traveling, we should be moving at the same pace.
it occurred to me that we could one of us could give the other a piggyback. That would be the same thing. You see, but it only really matters if one of us is faster than the other and can lift the other. How? What do you bench?
Do I overhear this while they're talking? Am I close
Yeah,
enough?
can we all perception check this?
He did say turn the volume knob down, so I'm going to say
Yeah.
at disadvantage. Lorshik, you do hear this.
Stop making this dragon roll perception. It doesn't work.
He does not smell our conversation.
Well, this is the thing, right? Eyesight and hearing, not my strong suit.
Technician, did I just hear you recommend that you ride Vidar?
Compression. It was a well. I actually no, you did not. I was suggesting one of us might be faster. Whoever is the faster would be the mount.
I mean, technically, you
appears-
could fabricate some wheels for yourself. Or ride Defender.
I do not have. Well, no, actually. Hang on a second. I could not. Defender moves at the same speed as me.
But you could rest, technically, because you're still prone to exhaustion. But you could just go into stasis while on top of Defender, no?
Not while traveling overnight. Many nights in a row, yes, but not overnight.
Good to know. Also, you should ride Vidar.
But Vidar, what do you bench?
Strength is not my forte. I am more nimble. I believe strength is your forte, is it not?
We are now figuring out what a tiki of this party looks like. No, a totem pole. I said tiki. That was wrong. Totem pole. Totem pole.
So, Robot Man riding as a Robot Man.
It was just a thought. It was based on your very clever use of a drake.
Things fun.
Perhaps we should get some rest and proceed with our travels tomorrow.
First, food.
Food sounds like a good idea. I make my way with Ilya over to around the corner where Yoo-Hoo Man, Happy Trail Man, told us the food was.
Okay.
What kind of food is there at the buffet?
Food that lasts for a long time if left out. So there's a whole load of sort of ration type food, and then the fresh food is like fruits and vegetables that are not skinned, they're just whole. And then basically every once in a while a tray of meat will come out, and then everyone will take a huge part of it. Or like anyone that's there was like, oh, meat, and they just grab the meat, including you guys. There's plenty for everybody, but it does go very quickly. So there's not really room for seconds initially.
So much sad food here.
What kind of food do you normally eat, Ilya?
Happy food. Food must be enjoyed.
I don't disagree. When you say happy food, do you mean that the person or animal that you eat has to be happy when you are eating them?
Correct. You can taste when ingredients were sad. This goulash here, from sad beef. This carrot, from sad ground. These baked goods, from sad woman in kitchen.
Ilya, are you sad?
Only with this food.
I eat my food without worrying about whether or not the food was happy or sad. I just enjoy the hell out of it.
Loarchik, did you ever have a meal from which you cannot lose this memory?
Yeah, there's definitely been some meats, especially in our travels, that are just quite delicious. Especially in Stilltime, there's a couple of cities that make some incredible food.
What food did you find?
Oh, there's a little inn that makes some special seasoned meat every day, and in the waterlogged place, there's a restaurant that we visited that has some very expensive but incredible seafood.
Seafood not for me. I am looking since childhood for meat pie.
Meat pie.
I cannot find this meat pie.
What is a meat pie?
Pie with inside pie meat.
Interesting. Well, I might know some chefs in Dahakoan who can make a meat pie. But if you ever have a meat pie or you find one, you can show me your meat pie, and I can find someone to recreate it.
But don't eat. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Stop it.
why we're not saying anything. We would have fucked off up to the ribs already. So
Oh yeah.
No food. Sabis, eat meat pie.
I was at this point will have taken, meat pie and just a shitload of fruit. Just an unhealthy amount. That's just piled up like, a foot high. Maybe I should take a bite. I'm be a little sad about it. It's okay.
Do you have meat pie right now, Ilya?
Only sad meat pie here. I am looking for traveling merchant making food, making meat pie. Come to city, come to city. Next city. Where is my meat pie?
I summon my Grand Expedition yak and see if my vendor sells meat pie.
Can you just say
How
that
much-
out loud?
How much gold did that take that you don't have? You definitely do not have. Because I think that's 50K, right? Do you have 50K?
Yeah.
No, you don't
No.
have 50K. So no, you don't have a Grand Expedition yak.
So you don't know traveling meat pie.
I don't know of any traveling meat pies, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Ilya.
I will find them.
Luershik is incredibly confused with Ilya's obsession with meat pie and how he thinks his food is sad.
It's not that he thinks, he knows the food is sad. It's sad food.
Bad
Lower
food.
Lowershik finds somebody who is more obsessed with meat than him, and it confuses him.
That's actually very true. So you guys eat, albeit very confused about what exactly is happening. And you make it to the next morning. Are you guys going to travel all the way through, all the way to Initmont? Or are you going to...
Rap is going to talk to the traders outside of the general store real quick. Oh, actually, before that, gather everybody real quick and say, I I must talk to the traders. Does anybody need anything while I'm there? Ilya, do you need anything? Are you looking for anything?
Look for meat pie.
Meat pie. Okay.
Ilya, do you intentionally wear no clothes, or would you prefer clothes?
Clothes make noise. Noise is bad for tracking animals.
Fair enough. Also, I believe I saw a forest north of here. If you'd like to find some happy food, I'm sure you could find some happy food.
We must continue, even if it makes me so sad.
Happy food. You mean you want your food to be happy before you kill it and eat it?
Food must be made with happiness, or you can taste sadness.
So why do they not employ comics in kitchens?
Joy and happiness, different emotions.
I will add this to my notes about what emotions are.
Good road.
Gonna go talk to the traders.
Actually, how many chips do you have that aren't unlocked yet?
I fucked up. All right, hang on a second. I think 3.
3. And what numbers are they?
That's what I'm double checking, but every
Okay.
time I push my mic on it,
Because
moves where my cursor is in my notes.
Having this explained to him is going to be a moment for rep rap.
What moment is this?
So-
He's learning?
So, this is what we call technician character development. Is he has these memory chips that he has inside of him, and every once in a while they activate, and then it changes how he works as a character. So he started off as like a sort of blank slate. I think the first one was comedy, and the second one was I don't really. We've only done 2 or 3 so far, but because you explained that joy and happiness are 2 different emotions, he's about to have a moment that determines his outlook on people, sort of.
Cool.
I think it might actually be more than that because I was seeing 4 at the top, but I thought I got disc 15 and 16 recently.
You did. Yes, you did.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to have to redo my notes on this. Were there were learnings from 15 and 16 though, right? Because those ones got uploaded almost immediately.
Yes, they were.
Okay, so hang on.
I know that you at least have 1 left, right?
Chip 1 for 13 and 17.
So this would be chip 1 is being activated.
Got it.
High or low?
Hi.
Go and roll it. Okay. So you look around and you take a second, and on the outside, he sort of freezes up, and the rest of you see him go into the mode where he's like downloading information and processing information. This one's really quick. It only takes about 5 minutes. You come back to it, and you have a feeling of there is a thing as sad, such a thing as sad food. And I'm realizing, like, you can see it in people's faces when they're eating the food, that they actually, like, sort of portray this weird emotion that if they're sad when they eat food, they don't feel good afterward. And, like, there's a lot of things that you can sort of bring together and understand that food is a huge part of people that eat the food. And what Ilya is saying is actually very true. And I'm going to say what this represents is your character has gained quite a bit more empathy than you thought you had before. Because remember, you couldn't do it at all before. Like, that was not an option for you at all. 0 empathy. Remember that? that you were very much sarcasm and didn't understand people at all. And
Yep.
but
It's
now
gotten me shoved.
your empathy is exclusively perceived through food. So you can't really tell what emotions are happening with people unless they're eating food. So
Is that happy food? It's just a big bite of happy food
yeah,
right
it
there.
has happy food right there. So put a note on there.
Amazingly, it makes me happy, but it is very sad food.
Mm.
Yes. So basically, anytime someone is eating food, that is the only time that you're allowed to make an insight check. Or, let's do this. You can make insight checks outside of that, but if they're eating food, I will give you advantage if they're eating food on an insight check. Because for me, I think that oddly specific advantages make it more fun in the end.
You're welcome, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, no, actually, I know exactly how to use this, and so does RepRap. In 20. Okay. Ilya, you are correct. There is such a thing as sad food. It doesn't necessarily make people sad, but it does make them feel bad. I understand this now. Thank you.
I'm glad I didn't break your robot.
And so far, the only thing that has done that is a giant spider. And also myself.
Why do you break yourself?
Because sometimes the consequences of my own actions catch up with me faster than I expect them to. At roughly 6,000 feet per second.
So you're falling.
No, an explosion.
So you are falling sideways, quickly.
I believe you have described walking without the interruptions, but yes.
Um,
I'm back now. Let's try the
you're
traders
back
real
now.
quick.
So you guys make your way. You go to sleep. Your rest is amazing. You awaken the next morning, and you start making your way over to Init Mont, Roulon, and Core. Are you guys doing the Warforged take their 2-hour rests at whatever intervals, and you guys travel all the way to Init Mont? We're gonna go ahead and fast forward through the next couple days. It's actually super easy, like literally uneventful. There are guards that patrol regularly. They're not inquisitors. They're just regular guards, and they check every once in a while. They'll be like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" Like they actually have like a cart with them, and they travel in a group of like 5 or 6 guys. One guy taking the cart and the horses, and the other people walking alongside or riding alongside. And they don't really stop you. They just say, "Hey, are you good?" as you walk past. And you guys eventually make it. Are you going to go to Init Mont, or are you guys going to go straight to Roulon?
I think we should stop at the crossroads and figure out if I can detect anything.
Anyone else have input, or is that a good plan?
No, I agree. That's a good plan. We should do that.
I assume when we arrive at the crossroads, there's some sort of sign saying "Init Mont" that way, and then
There
other stuff
absolutely
the other
is.
way?
It's actually very large, and it's on like a metal, it's like a big wooden sign hanging from a huge crossbar that goes across, and it's a one that goes basically it's a 2-section thing, and this one says Init Mont, this one says Roulon and Core, as well as like in smaller letters, Helrada, Bersigny, and Poulon. So it has like the smaller cities. Basically, the farther away it is, the smaller the text is on the sign, and it seems to be exquisitely made. It's very, very nice looking. And as soon as you reach this crossroads, Ilya, you smell blueberries faintly on the wind.
Where's the wind coming from?
The east.
So I would assume it's not anymore. So we don't go northeast, we go east.
It's very faint.
I smell very faint trace. Maybe look your compass. I would like to go east. Maybe compass. Different direction.
I pull out my compass and I hand it to Ilya.
Yep, pretty much directly east, a little bit, tiny little bit south of where you are is where the main finger is pointing. The other fingers are pointing back toward the Verdant Guard, and then one of them is pointing south to Siltheim.
We must head for Olon. Is everybody good with traveling, or must we rest again?
We're at all day and all night. Do we have another day in us, or where are we at?
I think the Warforged, I think that you guys would be a bit worse for wear in the fact that you actually you do need to take some time to rest. Like, doing that can only get you for so long before you start cycling in strange ways and things start going wrong within your internals. So, knowing your guys' bodies as well as you do, you probably do need to actually sit and rest in at least relatively soon.
We should probably rest here before
I agree that
continuing
here is
on.
best. Vidar's looking at the crossroad sign. Inetmont appears to be out of the way, even if it is only a short way out of the way. And if Ilya says we should move to Roulon, then we should not head to Inetmont.
From the crossroads, is Inema like we can see the front gates from here? Or
You guys are basically at the crossroads. It's only about a mile northeast of where you currently are on the road. You can see the gates from where you are.
Perhaps we stay in Inimon for the night, and then continue on to Roulon.
I'd be interested to ask the locals if the roads to Roulon are safe, considering they go through a forest. We haven't had the best luck in forests as of late.
One could argue that we've had great luck in a forest as of late.
One tried to kill us. Prior to that, it was stalking us. We had an explosion in one. What part of that is great?
You had a
No one
whole
died.
forest stalking and killing you.
Yes.
But they are our friends now.
Trees are your friends, but trying to kill you.
Long
It is
story.
difficult to comprehend. They didn't mean it.
They did mean it. They just didn't know not to mean it.
Trees are stupid.
Trees were following instruction. They were possessed. They were suffering from an infestation.
This is
That's what
correct.
they
The
all
trees were
say.
just following orders.
There's good trees on both sides.
Now I see.
Not all trees.
Afraid of inquisitors and of trees.
And grenades. Yes.
And grenades.
This is a silly
So,
conversation. And yeah, Inema.
So you guys are going to Inimal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to find an inn for the night.
And in an inner one?
Could also go with a motor lodge in Inema, but an inn in Inema seems like. Actually, is there the Inema Inn? Or like the double Inema?
I prefer coffee enemas.
Wow, we're going there. Okay.
Nobody said enema. Nobody said enema. Inimon.
Inimal.
Is there a
Inner
cinema in Inner?
The Inema Cinema and Inn. What do they
Well,
show
the
at the cinema in Inimon? They show Inimon pornography.
You guys are the worst. I'm just kidding.
And the films of Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, you guys arrive at Inimal. Innemont is one of the leading, basically a forestry town, or forestry city within Artstadt. This is where the majority of the wood comes from this area, for actually most of the eastern world, if not all of it. A lot of the western area, like the Vernon Guard, a lot of that forestry there is banned because of the fact that some of the trees are alive and you don't know what's what until it's too late, and they kill like a ton of people. This place apparently does not have that issue, where they don't really have that sort of infestation, but they do have a bunch of druids that stay here. And yeah, you're able to find an inn fairly easily, and they only charge 4 silver per person for this inn. There's a very tall, very reminiscent of Chaz Toilette. Yeah. Very familiar looking to Chastelet. She appears to be a dryad or an eladrin or a form of sort of nature being that is a little bit unexplainable.
Excuse
And
me.
she-
We need 5 rooms for this evening. I put 2 gold on the table. Also, is it safe to travel from here to the next city over? Is it Rulu? Rollo? Rollo?
Roulon? Oui. Is it very safe to travel there? Carry with you garlic, rumor of, how you say, she sort of sits there for a second.
Spiders?
No. Man turn to bat.
Vampires.
Batman.
That's word.
Got it. Interesting.
It's
Okay.
It's rumor on the road to Roulon that there are those guys.
Do you have any garlic here that we could perhaps acquire?
Oh, sure, of course. It's only 1 silver, and she hands you like a whole like line. You know how they have garlic in like little like chains, basically. I don't even know what those are called. I'm pretty sure there's a word for that, but I don't know what it's called.
A garland.
Give her-
A garland. Is that really what it
Yes.
is?
It is.
Okay, so yeah, the garland of garlic for 1 silver.
I give her a gold piece and ask her if she has change or gold.
Oh, of course. And she goes into her bag and she puts 9 silver down. Do you need?
I give her 4 back as a tip.
She just looks at you. She says, "Thank you for your, how you say, generous hand in marriage." No.
Tip.
Tip.
Le service.
It is not a marriage proposal. It is just the tip.
If you'd like to get married, we could.
No, I'm sorry. My fiance is working, and she just looks really awkwardly.
Congratulations.
Like, down. Thank you.
I am just joking with you.
Oh, okay.
I take my 5 silver, the garlic. Do we need keys for our rooms?
Oui. And she goes under the desk and she pulls out the 5 keys and hands them to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
And I
You
distribute the keys.
you are welcome.
While this is happening, Vidar is going to psychic whispers over to Ilya.
Mm-hmm.
Is having garlic on us going to impede your sense of smell?
I will learn to.
Wait, can I talk back to you with this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You talk to me one way, or is it 2-way?
It's 2-way.
Yeah, it's in your head, but it's
Okay.
You can think back at me.
That's a good question.
Is your inner voice Mickey?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe. I might get used to it though.
Vidar
I
actually
will
turned
point
around.
out there's basically 3 scents that trump everything else: garlic, lemon, and poo. And oddly enough, lemon is the only thing that trumps poo.
Wow.
I mean, you never wondered why they always make like bathroom air fresheners in lemon scents?
Lemon scent, yeah.
Well, we should keep the garlic with us until we get to the other side of the forest at the very least. Then perhaps we can get rid of it.
Does Tupperware exist in this universe?
Actually, all of you make a lore check, please.
Oh, I love it when I ask a just dumb question and he says roll for it.
History?
History, sorry. Sorry, I'm thinking in Star Wars terms. I apologize. Garlic doesn't do shit to vampires, by the way. Technician knows that.
Why have you purchased garlic? Is this to make the food happy?
The nice innkeeper said that it'll help keep rumored vampires away from us in the forest.
That is a superstition. It will definitely identify you as a tourist.
Well, she was nice either way. She deserves the patronage.
Fair
I
enough.
hand you I tear a clove of garlic off of the garland and hand it to the technician.
Maybe put garlic under a pillow for good luck.
DM,
Mm-hmm.
quick question: is garlic non-magical ammunition?
No.
Damn.
Wait, rephrase. Is a head of garlic non-magical ammunition? Are cloves of garlic non-magical ammunitions?
No.
Oh.
The one and a few times I will say no is definitely for garlic being used as a weapon, unless you know how to weaponize it specifically.
I do.
Not in its natural form is it weaponizable. It has to be processed to be weaponized.
Highly processed. I'm not certain that the technology level required to process garlic that way exists in this universe. Because I'm thinking centrifugal separation, and that spin it really hard.
Utterly confused by what the fuck you're meaning by this.
If you would have to make it into a gas or something, you'd have to make it into a chemical weapon of some sort.
You aerosolize garlic, and if you ingest an aerosolized garlic, you effectively scorch to your lungs from the inside. It's a very mild form of mustard gas.
Yep. So yeah, the army taught me that. So just letting you know.
Also, no, we definitely didn't teach anybody how to make weapons just now.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the head of garlic. I'm sorry, a head or clove? Which did you give me?
The full thing, or are you giving him just one piece of it?
I just pulled one. I assumed it was a string of cloves. Is it a whole
it's a stream
head?
of heads.
Each one's a
No,
whole
no,
head.
the head,
Oh,
the whole
I pull a whole
garlic is
head
called a
off
head.
and hand it to
Okay,
technician.
all right, yeah. Thank you.
Is bulb a better word for than head?
I don't know.
I just said head because I don't know. Is it bulb?
I think a head contains many bulbs. A bulb contains up to 8 cloves.
Heads are bulb-like and covered in whitish papery skin. One bulb is made up of different cloves.
Head or bulb, is just kind of in it.
Head
bulb,
head
clove.
is head is made of cloves. That's it. The whole thing. It's head is the big one. Cloves are the little ones.
But some people refer to a head as a bulb.
Yes, they're interchangeable.
I hand a bulbous head of garlic to technician.
Okay, and that being said, that's where we're going to end this episode of Soulforged, and we should see you next Tuesday, hopefully. Hopefully, barring any scheduling issues, in which I will send to the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, it's in the description. Yeah, everyone have a safe week. Do the right thing. Yeah, everyone have a great week, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye. Thanks for coming, Gary. By the way, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.